Welcome to The Explainer. So, have you ever wondered what our world is actually going to look like when today's wild AI hype meets tomorrow's physical reality? Well, today we are going on a macro, micro, meta journey right into the technological landscape of 2026. We're standing at this really fascinating intersection where absolutely incredible technological breakthroughs are crashing headfirst into real-world physical limits, and some pretty profound ethical dilemmas too. If you want to understand where our digital and physical worlds are heading over the next few years, you really need to see the complete picture. Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to look at the 2026 tech landscape, AI on the factory floor, the rise of AI empires, the hidden costs of AI, and finally, defining responsible technology. Let's just dive right in.
Kicking things off with Section 1, the 2026 tech landscape, specifically looking at MIT's latest breakthroughs.
So MIT Technology Review just dropped their 2026 breakthroughs, and it reveals something super fundamental about our immediate future. AI is no longer just a cool app you download, it is becoming the absolute foundational layer permeating energy, biomedicine, and space. We're talking about generative programming, where AI basically writes its own software code, plus wild biotech leaps like genetic de-extinction and even base-edited babies to prevent hereditary diseases. But to power all of this, especially those massive hyperscale AI data centers, we need a parallel leap in our physical world. And that's where things like next-generation compact nuclear reactors and cheaper sodium-ion batteries for our power grids come into play.
Now here's the catch, and it's a big one. It's like building a fleet of massive, incredibly fast sports cars, but realizing you only have a tiny gas tank to fuel them. On one side, we have this totally insatiable accelerating energy demand from hyperscale AI models. On the other side, renewable energy supply innovations, those sodium-ion batteries and next-gen nuclear plants, are desperately trying to keep up. Energy constraints are rapidly becoming the absolute bottleneck for basically everything else we want to achieve in tech. We can dream up the most advanced algorithms in the world, but if we literally cannot plug them in without browning out a city, progress just stalls.
Moving on to Section 2, AI on the factory floor, where we're really grounding the hype. Let's zoom in from the macro grid down to the micro-physical world. What you're looking at here is Hitachi Video Insights in action. Manufacturers have always struggled with industrial blind spots, right? A factory floor is chaotic, and you can't have a human security team everywhere at once. But by pairing smart cameras with 3D LiDAR sensors, which use light lasers to map environments in perfect three-dimensional detail, these systems provide 24/7 visibility into every single corner of an industrial facility. It literally turns passive video feeds into an active safety net.
So how does it actually play out day to day? It's basically a three-step process. By analyzing motions and detecting things like chemical spills or blocked emergency pathways, the AI first detects the anomaly. Then it analyzes the hazard and instantly triggers real-time alerts to workers on the floor. This is a massive paradigm shift. You're moving away from simply recording a workplace injury on camera after it happens to proactively preventing it from ever occurring in the first place.
By combining heat maps and real-time security alerts into a single unified workflow, managers can see everything at once. No more jumping between 10 different software systems. And the coolest part? Hitachi is actually drinking its own champagne here. They employ over 140,000 people globally, and they're rolling this exact tech out across 200 of their own facilities to optimize human-machine collaboration. It's a perfect example of AI doing exactly what it's supposed to do, making human work safer and way more efficient.
All right, zooming back out for Section 3, the rise of AI empires, and what's known as the AGI ideology.
To truly grasp the global impact of all this, you have to understand the mindset of the people building these systems. According to Karen Howe's phenomenal reporting, these folks operate in a tight, highly insulated Silicon Valley bubble. Inside that bubble, they lean heavily into this AGI ideology. It is this near-theological belief that artificial general intelligence is inevitably going to surpass human capability and solve all of our global problems. They even proudly call themselves AGI-pilled. Skepticism is seen as irrational there. They fully, enthusiastically embrace this powerful myth of utopian progress. But this ideology masks a massive structural reality. Heo points out something really fascinating. She compares today's AI giants directly to 19th century empires. Think about it. Instead of ships seizing distant lands for minerals and spices, these modern empires concentrate wealth and power through massive data hoarding, global resource extraction, and unseen labor. They are pulling immense value from the periphery of the globe to enrich a very small elite at the center. The mechanism changed from galleons to server farms, but the underlying power dynamic is surprisingly similar.
Which brings us to Section 4, the hidden costs of AI and this so-called colonial bargain.
We are constantly told that this rapid expansion is totally inevitable. But the hidden human and environmental toll is frankly massive. Far away from those pristine algorithms, real people are paying the price. We've got data annotators in Kenya getting paid mere dollars an hour to sift through deeply toxic content so our chatbots don't traumatize us, while they get traumatized themselves. We're seeing communities in Chile losing critical water supplies just to cool energy-hungry AI data centers in their backyards. And on a larger scale, there's a genuine threat to global democracy when a handful of centralized companies control the world's information flows and use immense lobbying muscle to block local regulations.
Karen Hao captures this tension perfectly. She asks, whose future is being promised here, and whose forest is being cut down to build it? It just brilliantly illustrates the exact tension we face. The promised utopia of artificial general intelligence requires very real physical extraction from the world's most vulnerable communities.
So how do we fix this? Let's look at Section 5, Defining Responsible Technology and Charting a Path Forward.
There is actually some good news on the horizon. According to a report by ThoughtWorks, a whopping 73% of business leaders now agree that responsible technology considerations will soon equal financial considerations in importance. The desire to build ethically is definitely growing in the corporate world, shifting from just a niche concern into a central strategic pillar.
But there's a catch. Even with that good intention, 59% of those same leaders basically think responsible tech just means complying with existing regulations. They equate ethical responsibility with basic legality. And that's a huge flaw because it effectively dumps the entire ethical burden onto governments to figure out the rules, rather than putting the responsibility on the actual companies innovating at breakneck speed.
To truly move forward, experts like Deb Donig argue we need a totally different mindset. We have to define responsible tech as the active consideration of human values. It's not just a legal compliance checklist you hand off to your lawyers. It means seeking to understand unintended consequences, mitigating harm to all affected communities, and crucially, including diverse voices in the design process long before the tech is ever deployed.
As these incredible 2026 breakthroughs become our reality, from massive sodium-ion grids to factory floors expertly guided by smart LiDAR, I want to leave you with that vital question again. Whose future is being promised, and whose forest is being cut down? The technology itself isn't uniquely evil, but the way we choose to build it and who gets a say in that process matters entirely. What role do you play in demanding a responsible technological future? Thanks so much for tuning into this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.